Welcome to Swim Life Pro's second and final video tutorial on learning how to swim the complete breaststroke. Please make sure you are comfortable with all material discussed in section 1 of this series before attempting this section. The next step in learning the full breaststroke logically is to learn the breaststroke pull. The breathing for the breaststroke cannot be performed without help from the pull. Similar to the breaststroke kick, the pull can be divided into two different parts. The power phase, which creates the majority of the forward velocity of the pull, as well as assists the head and neck with breathing, and the recovery phase, which resets the arms in preparation for the next stroke. The breaststroke's power phase is designed for two separate purposes: to pull water backwards, allowing your body to move forward in the water, and to pull water downwards, raising your body's position in the water enough to assist your head and neck with breathing. Remember, the breaststroke kick creates the majority of the breaststroke's forward velocity in the water. Therefore, assisting your head and neck with breathing is the major utility of the breaststroke pull. Additionally, remember that the breaststroke pull is the first part of the stroke's rotation. At the beginning of the breaststroke pull, your arms should be fully extended in front of your head, palms facing in towards each other. The breaststroke pull utilizes a short and shallow sweeping motion designed to pull your body forwards, as well as to raise your body's position higher in the water. Start the power phase by rotating both hands outwards, palms facing downwards and slightly away from the center of the body. While keeping your wrists and hands firm, quickly lower them towards the bottom of the pool, widening your wrists away from the center of the body as you pull your hands towards your chest. As you do this motion, you should feel your body position very slightly raise in the water. At the end of the breaststroke power phase, your upper arms should be in line with one another, your hands and wrists pointing towards the bottom of the pool, directly below your elbows. During the breaststroke's power phase, your arm's primary goal is to displace as much water as possible. Simply, the more water you pull, the more your body's position will respond to what your hands are doing. Keep your wrists and hands firm, with your palms facing towards the direction of the hand's pull for as much of the power phase as possible. This will help create the flattest surface possible with your hand and forearm for the power phase. The recovery phase of the breaststroke pull has one simple task: to be as efficient as possible, allowing the momentum of the breaststroke kick to be fully utilized. At the beginning of the pull's recovery phase, your arms should be at roughly 90 degrees, fingertips pointing towards the bottom of the pool. Begin the recovery phase by angling both hands' fingertips in towards each other. Bring the hands in towards the center of the body, directly in front of the chest. This is where the breaststroke gets its name. As your fingertips touch, turn both of your palms in towards one another with your hands pointed forwards and drive your arms back into the glide position directly in front of your head. The breaststroke pull's main goal is not to propel you forwards in the water. Rather, its utility is assisting your head and neck with the breathing. Always keep your hands and elbows in front of your body at all times. Pulling your arms behind your shoulders will disrupt the timing of your stroke as a whole, while also hindering your kick's powerful potential. The breaststroke's breath is meant to be performed quickly, with precise timing and coordination, while having a minimal effect on the rest of the body. The breathing for the breaststroke can only be performed at one time during the stroke. Therefore, it is important to ensure that you get a good breath each time you breathe. The breaststroke breath consists of one fluid motion of many separate movements of the body from beginning to end. It is important to remember that whatever you do with your head's position directly affects what the rest of your body is capable of swimming correctly. Having an exaggerated head position during the breathing can make swimming the breaststroke much more difficult than necessary. The breaststroke's rotation is pull, breathe, kick, glide, in that order, on repeat, forever. Immediately as you start the breaststroke pull, you will need to start the breathing. Remember, the power phase of the breaststroke pull is designed to raise your body's position higher in the water, assisting your head and neck with breathing correctly. Directly before you start the breaststroke's breath, your head should be resting comfortably just at the surface of the water with your ears being submerged. Prepare your lungs for the breath by exhaling all of the remaining air in your lungs just before your face exits the water. The breaststroke's breath is meant to be fast enough that it does not slow down your stroke's rotation. At the onset of the breaststroke pull, just as your body's position starts to raise in the water from the power phase, raise your eyes and chin to look forward in the direction you were swimming. It is important not to over-exaggerate raising your head out of the water. Once your mouth is above the surface, there is no need for your head to raise any higher. Remember, your breath is supposed to be quick. Take a deep breath as quickly as you can. Finish the breathing phase by lowering your head back into the glide position. If timed properly, your hands should be driving forwards to the glide position as you're lowering your head back into the water. By now, you have 4 separate parts of a complete breaststroke. Putting each of these parts together requires timing. Fortunately, the breaststroke is a relatively slow-paced stroke, which works in favor of beginner swimmers. Immediately as you feel your body's position raising in the water from the power phase for the pull, bring your head forwards for the breath. Just as your arms are extending forwards to the glide position, begin your kick. Your arms should remain in this position until after the glide finishes. Be sure to have one powerful and effective kick that leads into your legs being in the glide position. For beginner swimmers, exaggerate the length of the glide to make sure you are doing the stroke properly. Once your momentum slows from the breaststroke kick, repeat the order of the breaststroke until you reach your destination. If you are having trouble with the timing of the breaststroke's rotation, it is easier to think of the timing in terms of the pull and the kick only. As you are performing this stroke, try to time it to the pace of pull, kick, pull, kick, pull, kick. So long as you have sufficient time between the end of the kick and the beginning of the pull, you should be swimming the breaststroke correctly. Remember, practice makes perfect. The breaststroke is a fully symmetrical stroke. Gliding is the most efficient form of travel in the water, so long as you have momentum. The power phase for the pull occurs when the legs are gliding. Likewise, the power phase for the kick occurs when the arms are gliding. The timing of the breaststroke is such that your arms and legs will help each other be more efficient. The breaststroke consists of 4 separate parts that work together to create one endless fluid motion from beginning to end. Thank you for watching Swim Life Pro's tutorial on the entire breaststroke. Please make sure to check out our other video tutorials of each of the 6 official strokes, as well as our video on treading water at www.swimlifepro.com.